But welcome to the Mental Margarita show.
Yo, man.
And I'm telling you, this is just phenomenal. It's unbelievable. I mean, this is crazy. I got two amazing songwriters reuniting. Michael Goods, Shari Verona. Am I saying that right, Shari?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an absolute pleasure. How you guys doing?
Real good, man. Thanks for having us on.
Oh man, it's an absolute pleasure.
We're doing this. Michael, lift your face. I haven't seen you in 34 years, and now you're
I know, right?
There he goes. He's Oh, you look great.
So do you. Thanks for everything, you sweetheart. Thanks for looking. Took 30 years, but you know, I was shocked when, you know, my guy, he was like, yo, young lady's looking for you. I'm like, I've been just toured with him for like 20 years.
Wow.
So, cool.
That's crazy. And you know what? That's a good segue because both of you guys recorded together in the 80s. You lost touch, reunited after 34 years. Let's take it back. How do you guys first meet?
That's a good one, man, because how did we meet, Shari?
It's always two versions to every story. What I remember, I think a New York publisher maybe put us in touch.
Okay, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I forgot who it was. I want to say he called from New York. He said, I understand you live in Florida. You're a professional writer. It would be advantageous. This dude has a big track record and he lives in Florida. Get with him.
I'm gonna tell you who that sounds like.
Yeah.
Ivan.
Oh, really?
Sounds like.
Wouldn't that be something?
Let me tell you, I met him at Universal. I was in the studio at Universal. He was across the hall just using the phone. And so when I walked in, I'm like, you know, using the phone, just doing crazy things. And then we met, we shook hands. He says, man, I'm going to Miami and I'm going to open Universal in Miami. I said, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, you get to hear the beginning, Sly.
Wow, this is great.
Of history.
Wow.
Okay, so, Michael.
I appreciate everything. I mean, you were incredible as a writer back then. And I'm scared of you now because you got to be even more ridiculous as we go.
Well, you'll be happy to know I stopped writing.
What?
Yeah, now it's a full-time job, publishing and placements.
Oh my God, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. I mean,
but so tell us what happened. So I think that's how we met. I remember some attorney said, you know, this dude lives in Florida. He's a badass. And then, and the next thing, what I remember, back then, like 79, 80, 81, 82, there was no Uber or Lyft.
No.
And so Sly, Michael was in a beautiful place. I didn't know how beautiful. Naples, Florida, like by the water where all the boats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I got lucky, man.
Yeah, and he would deliver me tracks, and I thought, who is this? Like, this baller sent a car to drop off some tracks to me, and he's gonna drive 2.5 hours back now to Naples. Who is this? He was paying a driver to come special consistently, just drop me tracks. The driver would maybe say, can I use your restroom before I head back? And I'd be like, yeah. And then I said, the next time I have the best idea. I can't afford to pay a driver to bring it back to him when I'm done with it. I'm gonna keep the driver here. I'm gonna have a singer here next time that his driver comes. I'm gonna have the singer ready to cut. I'm gonna write the song real quick. Tell the driver, order a pizza, order Chinese, chill, watch TV. I'm sure you're tired from a 2.5 hour ride. He'd be watching TV, eating, drinking beer. but not getting drunk because
Yeah.
you'd have to. And I would mix the track real quick because I wanted to surprise Michael and do an all-time record. So I shocked him. Not only did he drop off the track, I had the singer ready to go in the booth.
Wow.
And the road, and the drivers using the restroom, chilling air. That's what I remember.
Oh
Wow.
Unbelievable. You know, I remember that it was a great union, and I so appreciated the professionalism because, you know, at that time I you know, and if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't know my neck from a hole in the ground. But
Right. Wow.
Well, we were all learning. That's why, you know, I think this podcast is important, you know, for co-writers, you know, to squash any beefs.
Right.
You know, it's about making money.
right.
It's not about egos. And it's once you lose touch with someone, you know, us 34 years, think of the opportunities we could have had all that time we didn't.
Oh my God. I tell you, Sly, it's amazing to get a phone call 34 years later from a musician that you're working with right now and says, hey, you know, this person reached out to me online, said she'd be looking for you for 30 years. So I was like, wow, what?
We have to do a shout out to David who hooked us up. I wrote a stranger.
Yeah,
you know, an article came up online. Aaron Neville, you know, it raves about his keyboard player, Michael Goods. And I'm like, I found him.
You found him.
Wow, that's so, I appreciate it.
And for the audience to know, I mean, Michael Goods, I mean, working with Aaron Neville, and I mean, that's just what an amazing opportunity for you to be part of.
Yeah, man. It was school, serious school for like 20 years. He would be like, let's do this and let's do this and let's do that. I'd be like, man, I don't know how to do that. And he says, well, don't worry, you'll figure it out.
Wow.
What?
And now they talk every day still.
That is something else. Now, let me ask you guys this, because you mentioned something, Shari, okay, about the importance of co-writers staying in contact. Let's go a little bit more into that. Why is that so important?
Hey, let me just interject for 1 second. Let me tell you something. I had no idea the intricate situations that can happen for you if you pay attention and keep all your vitals, your name, your address, all your information in circulation, because there are not many people like Shari. But I'll tell you that you know, the more she can bring this to life, I would hope that people would learn from it and actually make it happen, because the writers looking out for each other is such a big deal. It should be more of that.
Yeah.
You know, I was tired of landing deals back in the 80s and 90s. I would land left and right. Some of them worked out, some of them didn't. And, you know, I'm like, damn, what is Tim's last name? Where do I? And there was one situation, I had a big contract. I had to hire a damn detective because I had a contract that I couldn't sign. I didn't have power of attorney with his signature, but I landed the deal, and my sweat and hard, you know, whatever it took to land that, not easy.
Right.
And you land it, you get the contract, and now I got to go find Tim. So the detective said, well, there's good news and bad news. The good news, I found him, but he's on a cruise in the Mediterranean until November.
Jeez.
Wow, that's something else.
You know, that was back in the day. You couldn't just, you know, hit Wi-Fi. I don't even think there was Wi-Fi. But it just got to the point where I would say over the decades, I haven't spoken to Michael, I've had a lot of opportunities to do many different things with our music. And, you know, there's some people shady, they would just do it and not worry about it. I see my own stuff out there. I know there's singers, you know who you are, selling my songs online on your little albums, you know, getting your sound exchange royalties, or I don't know, probably gave it to iTunes or whatever. So for every $1.99, whatever you're making $1 and pocketing it, that's all, you know, cool. But the real way is to be upfront, divvy it up, because you don't know what the other person can have that's even bigger than what you're doing.
Exactly.
I'll say that. Let me check. It's great if you do the right thing, because you never know, that other writer can help you.
That's right.
You don't have to do the dollar dance. You know what I mean?
And I say it's better from the beginning. You write a song, people email it to each other. Our song, final mix. You're starting the whole thing wrong. Title the entire song correctly, not song 3, final mix. What starts bad is going to end bad.
That's right.
Title it, put your writers, all your writers' names on there.
Listen, you writers.
Everybody sign up for a performing rights organization. If you're referred to CSAC, great, become a CSAC affiliate writer. At least in the event of someone not finding you, you can always use that as a last resort. Give them your middle names, because I'm gonna surprise Michael right now and tell him that after 15, 20 years, I just did the deal.
Wow.
So you got 4 or 5 songs out on various TV shows.
Oh!
It's a good surprise for him.
Oh my God.
And
come on, Michael, this is great.
Can you show a close-up? Can you show a close-up of his face or no?
Oh, it's outrageous.
Wow, man.
I'm speechless, baffled, big time.
This is great. Breaking news on
super. Yeah, super. But I will say that, Shari, it's been crazy because my whole life has been with the other people who don't do what you do. There's a plethora of people who wanna, if you don't know, they won't tell you.
They won't tell you, yeah.
Some people I don't want to find, and I'm not gonna find them. You know, right. All are, sorry. But besides, I'll toot Michael's horn. I don't play a wind instrument or horn. Michael's very humble. He was so humble. He said, I don't do podcasts. Okay.
Oh, I feel honored. I feel special.
I mean, I appreciate it.
You are. No, I watched your podcast coming up in Florida. Okay, so Michael, since you won't hear from him, he's worked with Gerald Levert, BB Winans, Aaron Neville, Will Smith, Lisa Fisher, Wyndham Hill, Natalie Merchant, and on and on and on and on and on.
And let's get to you, Shari. What do you got going on?
Oh my God, I've cut over 300-400 artists. My demos landed them the deals, major deals. You hear them all on the radio. So I would be hired back in the day. We wanted Taylor Dane sound alike, or we need this, or we need a follow-up hit to, this was in Miami too, by the way, Sly. Wow. So I would be behind the scenes and I would develop a sound for them. Then there were bidding wars over the deal. Sometimes the singer, you know, would end up signing with like Mariah Carey's producer. They went from my hands, not copied, but you used the direction and sound that I took them in and then did their thing. But I was happy because that was my niche. But, you know, over the years, I've had songs out on all the major labels and independent labels, Sony, Bug, Kerr, BMG. Back in the day, I was spotted by Joe Tarzia. He was an engineer for Philly Sound, Gamble and Huff's label in Philly.
Wow.
And so I was offered a production deal like in my 20s. So I did some stuff for them, and then I was Joe Tarzia's consultant, and he would say, we're considering signing this person, should we or not? And they would send me material on them and say, what direction would you take them? Do you have anything better? Would you like to produce some? Yeah, and then years later, I wound up on, it wasn't the early Delphonics. I'm old, but I don't go that, thank God I don't go that far back. But I'm on the, originally it was, I think Sony put it out. I'm on their Greatest Hits and More album, which was done later. They took all their hits, put them on one album, and then they needed more material. So like the More is my material.
Wow.
Yeah, and now they all, Major Harris and the lead singers no longer with us. I think Randy Kane, I don't want to say the wrong information, a few of them. I heard that someone, I know Norman Carter now is the lead singer. I think he lives in LA. I met him too by coincidence many years ago. But, you know, that's my proudest album that I'm on. You know, I have new TV show placements, film placements, network stuff, but the Delphonics, I say that will be on my tombstone.
Wow, that's amazing.
Hey,
And
wait,
so
I'm gonna to Aaron
you and
Newman.
Mike had some works. What are the works that you guys got?
No, or what we have already from way back.
What do you guys have already? And then the second part of the question is, what's planned for the future?
Okay, so when the show's over, I'll tell Michael all the placements he has. You know, because I just got tired after decades of trying to find him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what, as long as I do the right thing and give him his share and his this and his that. But see, the problem, Michael, when I went to BMI, there were hundreds of Michael Goods.
Wow. God, dog.
So I reached out to BMI and I notified the company that I deal with, that we have a situation. I found my co-writer after 34 years. Sorry, whoops, we have the wrong Michael Goods listed.
Wow.
And so I gave BMI, because Michael's with BMI, all the correct information, and it's going to take 2 to 3 months to correct. I had to give them all the list of songs that were released.
I really appreciate it. Don't even sweat it. Listen, God, this is a godsend. You're a great person, and you don't ever have to sweat anything like that. It's not a big deal at all. You know, God meant for this to happen. So you can't worry about the time. Thanks for being straight up about it. And that's the most important thing.
I wanted to surprise him on the podcast. I thought if he blows up and goes, what?
Nah.
Now,
Look.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Are these songs that you guys have done? Is it a confidentiality where you can't tell us the songs?
Well, they're on different networks.
Okay.
They're on like Netflix, Hulu.
Oh, that's cool.
Maybe a major like NBC or CBS or ABC. I I have the whole list for him for later. I'm gonna tell him the precise shows. They're all hit shows.
Wow. Well, you know, when we get it all straight, Sly like to come back and pay homage to Shari, you know.
No,
and come back and be, you know, just to, because thanks for having us. And, you know, man, listen, I really appreciate it. And if there's, you know, anything that I could ever do or whatever, let me know, man. Appreciate that.
That's great. Well, you know what? I am so, mean, this is just amazing to see you guys, to be part of this reunion. I'm so excited that you guys finally reunited, and I'm looking forward to the future. Is it for the audience or anyone that might want to know more about your story or your journey? Is there any information that you guys can give to the audience where they can follow you guys in some way, or how does that?
Is there something you because Sly, will be honest, I'm gonna let Shari take the wheel. I ain't needing me trying to drive the car now. She needs to drive the car. So
we can update you, Sly, when BMI straightens all this mess out. It's not really a mess, but it could have been.
Thank God for you. I appreciate.
I just let them know, and the publisher let them know as soon as I found out and got a hold of Michael, and he said, "No, I'm known as Michael, but I'm actually Paul Michael Goods," and I was like, "Oh no, I would have never known that."
My friends in New York say, "Man, why you don't use your government name?" I said, "Man, I do use my government." I said, "No, I don't. You use Paul. I don't hear Paul." So that's you know, professors.
That's why all you producers, writers, collaborators, groups that are hustling, trying to get something going, get your all's official names and official exact names when you do register with BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, Sound Exchange, whoever you sign up for, and give each other the numbers that you're assigned that they give you. So in an emergency or a situation where you know, because you don't want to lose money, the opportunities are so hard to come by that once you get an opportunity, you want to cross all your T's and dot your I's and not let that chance escape you. You may also want to say, is there one designated person who could make decisions on behalf of everybody in the event? A lot of people do records today, and then like Michael's partner kind of dropped out, and I don't blame him. They put out, you know, they make great music and they sit on it for 5 or 6 years. And then someone says, let me put this old album out. It cost us time and money. Let me put it out. You know, it was never put out originally, but you know, now's the time. Let's say you don't have any agreements. You don't have none of your writers' information, or maybe you're a band of 5 guys. You only have 3 people's information.
Right.
You know, you want to be able to sleep at night with a good conscience, do the right thing, and release that album for downloads, for sale, to sell at concerts, whatever, without any legal ramifications.
Absolutely. And I thank you for informing the audience, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that watch this show that are songwriters. So that's really valuable information that you gave us. We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you guys.
Thanks so much, man.
The Margarita Show.
Thank you for having us, and thank you for this beautiful reunion.
Thank you so much.
Guys. Well, listen, you guys keep in touch, please. I beg of you.
We'll
do.
Keep making
We'll let you know when his BMI goes through.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Have a blessed day.
Thanks so much, God.
Bye, Sly. Bye, Michael.
Bye, Shari. Thank you.
Bye. Okay.
Well, welcome to the Mental Margarita Show. I have Tasha Featherstone with us, a serial entrepreneur. We're glad to have you. So you were raised in Pasadena, California. You're the CEO of STFU Designs. You're also a self-published author, and you're also a rapper as well, and goes by the name of Cutie. And we're actually going to be able to present some of your music on the episode, so our audience is going to get a chance to listen in just a little bit. They're going to be able to hear some of your work and see your designs, and be able to get a little bit more of a picture of who you are. So we're really excited to have you. First, tell us a little bit about your background. You know, growing up in Southern California, and then ending up in design. You also dance. You also teach theater. You just do it all. So how did it start? How did it start first off?
Well, dancing started 5th grade. I've been dancing on dance teams and things like that. I danced throughout college. Hip hop growing up. In college, it was modern, jazz, and I did a semester of ballet. So that's kind of like, dance has always been a part of my life. I love dancing. It's a great way to express yourself, great way to be creative, which comes into the brand because it's about expressing yourself and being creative. Doing what makes you happy, what you're passionate about, and telling all the naysayers to shut the F up. So from, loving music, loving dance, I have a family that loves music and loves singing and dancing, and a very musical inclined family. And then from there, it kind of like I was wanting to get more back into dancing as well and expressing myself that way. So I ended up teaching high school dance and theater.
That's wonderful. And when in school, that's when we're the most shaped, and it kind of forms our ideas about a lot of things. So that's such a pivotal age and time when students aren't sure what they want to do, or maybe they need that outlet to help them through something just to get through life.
Yeah.
So, being able to be in that position and inspire and teach and be able to share that joy and passion that you have for it and watch it blossom in others and your students. So that's really exciting. And we have something else we're celebrating. So your designs were featured recently in New York Fashion Week, as well as Glamour Magazine and Elle Magazine. So how did that come about? Which happened first?
So the New York Fashion Week happened first. We worked with the producers Flying Solo. So it was about emerging ones to watch, so it was called. So it was the brands to watch that are up and coming big names. It was an international show, so it was brands from the US and brands from other countries as well. I got to partner with a jewelry designer from Paris in Condom, and I got to partner with a waist bead designer in Atlanta, modern nature. That's what it is. My bad. So that collaboration, Getty Images came to New York Fashion Week to take our photos, and then from there, those pictures from New York Fashion Week, which ended up featured in Elle Magazine and Glamour Magazine.
Oh, that's wonderful! Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're proud of you, and that's a wonderful accomplishment. And now your fashion line, you call it Edgy Urban Designs. They're very eye-catching. They definitely draw attention. There's all kinds of messages, and that they're fun and colorful. And you have over 500 items on your website for clothing options for men and women, and from backpacks, accessories, hats, shoes. It's like a one-stop shop. So pretty much you can dress yourself from head to toe with items from your site. And you were in Las Vegas, and you're moving around, because while you're on this journey, you're kind of going different places and doing a lot of different things. And that's why we like to feature, business owners like you, and people that are working hard, and they're following their passion, following their dreams. That's what this show is all about. So, as a teacher and as a designer, what words of advice, because you've been working really hard, and it shows by the results that you've, you know, accomplished and things that you've done. What advice do you have for someone that wants to break into this industry?
So I always love the example of there's never too many people. It's not an oversaturated market. You have so many bread options in the bread aisle because people want specific things. So just if you're going down a certain route, figure out what makes your lane your lane. Figure out what differentiates your business, your products, your services, whatever you're doing from anyone else doing the same thing or something similar. So with STFU, obviously there's a million clothing brands, a million designers, a million different places to shop, but you can't buy STFU anywhere else. It's only with STFU. Our designs, you're not finding other places because they're inspired by STFU. And we make collections for everyone. We make our collection for our gamers, arcade collections. We have our collections for, you know, our 420 enthusiasts. We have our, you know, our STFU collection, our classic logo collection for people that just are bold and want to make a statement about themselves and to be seen. We have lots, like so lots of different collections. So it's about finding your own path, your own lane, making your own way. That's the best way to go far in something. Don't try to copy someone else. You can look at the blueprint, you know, get the wheels, but make it your own.
Wonderful. That's great advice. And now you've also self-published authors. So you have items that have been published that are available on Amazon. And if someone's looking for you, what would they look for? Do you have a page or a page there where you're selling your things? Or is it just the author search in the books?
Yeah, it would just be an author search in the book. So it's I did a business plan guide template. So for aspiring entrepreneurs and business owners, it's a book that pretty much runs down how to break down your business plan step by step. And then I also have a poetry book that I publish. It's from ages 14 to 24, so a 10-year compilation of poems. Just poems that people can relate to, that express emotions and feelings through the stages of 14 to 24, and things, you know, the emotions you experience. It's a very relatable book. And then I have journals and a sermons notebook for the churchgoers. You can keep your notes in church. So those are what are on Amazon.
Neat, that's really exciting. And so we'll also be throwing up some images from some of your work, so the audience has a chance to see that, as well as your music. Now your music, you're looking at streamlining that along and kind of breaking into that a little bit more along with your fashion line later on. You've got a couple singles. You had one, Go Ahead, and Sophistiragets. That's such a catchy name. And the song is catchy too. So I'm trying to decide we should give them a little sample of both, because they're just, you know, it's a expression of you and fun. But where did that name come from? Any special story behind that?
So the word sophisticated I had seen before. It was like a Facebook meme or something, and it was telling about a woman who's sophisticated, you know, has all these qualities, but can also, you know, be ratchet and has all these qualities. And I was like, that's like, I don't fit in one box, you know. I'm a very, you know, composed business worker. I can sit in a boardroom and hold a conversation and get my point across and communicate very well. But I can also, you know, go dance and have fun and let loose and be, you know, I'm not a party girl, so I'm very shy, but, you know, I know how to have fun and let loose as well. So it was kind of like, I'm not ratchet and I'm not all the way sophisticated. So we put them together.
Have a blend, right? Fun. That's really fun.
So that's pretty much what the song's about. It's about, you know, a girl who works hard, who's on her grind, has goals, has plans, you know, wants the best for the world, but tonight she wants to go out and have fun. She wants to get dressed super cute, go out with her friends, and turn up.
And we have to have balance for ourselves too. We can't work all the time. We've got to have a chance to have the fun part and do all that stuff too. And what's fun is you get to do it while you're working and have fun at what you love, and then it's really not work so much. So the Mental Margarita Show is about finding your passion, your inner peace, that center that helps you kind of get away from everything. What's your mental margarita? It sounds like it's a lot of what you're doing already, but do you have like a certain go-to, like if you're having a down day or you just kind of need to refocus?
Well, definitely music is always changes my mood if it's that bad. But other than that, I usually go to Netflix. That's my go-to. But I don't want to think anymore. I don't want to focus on anything, do anything. I just want to zone out, put on something on Netflix, and just dive into the show and become a part of it.
So we're also excited to have you part of a team. This is we can't spill it all yet. We can't let the cat out of the bag yet. But the Mental Margarita Show is working on producing a film, which you are going to be part of as one of our creators from the artist standpoint. We're going to be featuring, some of your designs in our film on the show and at some other events and things. And we're excited to have you as part of the team. So thank you so much for being on the show. We're excited to share your art, share your music. And what's the best way if people want to follow you and keep track of what you're doing and your accomplishments? What's the best way for them to reach you?
For STFU on every social site, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube, it's all at STFU Designs. The website is also STFU Designs. If you want to follow me personally, I really only have a Facebook, that's Tasha Featherstone. My music pages are at Miss MRS .cutie, QUE. This is actually _T because you can't use apostrophes on Instagram. But yeah, either at Miss Cutie or at STFU Designs. And if you want to get real personal, then Facebook, Tasha Featherstone.
All right, wonderful. Well, we're looking forward to working with you more, and we're gonna be celebrating all of this in Vegas real soon. And we're so excited to have you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the work you do as a teacher and just as an artist and what you contribute to the world. It makes it a better place. So we're glad. Thank you for being part of our world here at Mental Margarita Show too.
Thank you. Thank you for wanting to be a part of it. I'm excited to be a part. I can't wait.
Wonderful. Well, we're so glad to have you. Can't wait to hear what's coming next. And there'll be more. Stay tuned, folks.
Normally at home on my grind. Good girl making money, state mind of mine. But today I wanna pop it round and round slow wine. Good girl getting ratchet in the club one time. Shy girl, but a freak tonight. Body moving too good, make sure you hold on tight. I was praying for world peace last night, but now I wanna get naked, let this brown skin shine. Step back, watch me do my dance. Don't worry, I'll get back to my goals and plans. Take a break, pop that cake, just do your dance. Only the flow can see your hands. So fist the ratchets in the club one time. Pussy popping in the club one time. Or grab my girls, hit the floor one time. Round and round, showing off what's mine.
QT. Twerk, 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 twerk. Go ahead, little mama, go ahead, ayy. 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 Throw that money, let me see you go to work, ayy.
All my boss women in the building. Throw your hands up to the ceiling. Pop it high, your pockets tighter than a new weed. And you're rocking Gucci and the Fendi. How your hoes gon' step to me? You better ask around before you speak about me. Be get mine, make mine, work hard, that's mine. If it ain't talking about money, don't bang my line. This goes out to the ladies that be winning, that be shaking they for a living. You see, it ain't tricking if you got it. Shout out to the ladies, that's about it. You about your money, go and get that. You about your business, go and get that. You living independent, go and get that. Girl, stay on your hustle with that.
Twerk, 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 twerk. Go ahead, little mama, go you go to work, ayy.
Call me cutie, know you like me cause you see me rockin' icy. Yep, I'm with 'em cause I'm wifey. STF use what I'm rockin'. I'm too real, could never play me. Making money on the daily. Fall in line, girl, you so basic. You a hater, you don't face me. Pretty face and little waist. And I know you wanna taste. Pop my booty on the bass. Can you feel that earthquake?
Do that, man.
Yeah. Mm.
And welcome to the Mental Margarita Show.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you. So, Harlem, huh?
Yeah, Harlem, raised, born. Like, yeah, I'm honestly, Harlem is really my life. It's really my life. I try to separate so many times. Well, my parents try to, detach me from Harlem so many times. It's just crazy, but I always find my way back home. Like, and essentially, for some reason, home always felt like it was Harlem. Like, for me, even no matter where I went, it could have been Indiana, it could have been Africa, it could have been Nevada, it could have been anywhere, literally. But anytime I entered this atmosphere, it's just like the whole world, like I felt that ease for some reason. Even like that culture shock that like I felt at school. It was like I never understood what it meant till I got to school. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like actually understanding what it means to be like in a space that is completely like I would say out of your norm, out of your niche, and something like that is just only what like higher learning could really, you know what I'm saying? It will offer you. You know what I'm saying? That's that type of learning, that type of experience that you can't undervalue. You know what I'm saying? You got to really cherish because it's what you make of it at the end of the day, and what you do is just ultimately just gonna determine how your result. At the end of the journey, at the end of those 4 years.
I feel you on that. So Harlem is the heart and soul.
Heart and soul.
Let's let the audience know. So you're an artist.
Mm-hmm.
You do music, and you're acting, and you're modeling. I mean, just all across the board.
Yes.
Let's deal with each one in particular. So for being an artist, is that something that you've been doing for a long time or what?
Yeah, actually, it's been an outlet. Like, it's been one of those therapeutic outlets that I had since I was a kid. I always used to get into, little altercations when I was younger, get bullied. And for some reason, like, my counselors just figured out that, like, I had a way of, like, just listening, but with a pencil in my hand. Like, it's weird. Like, it was kind of like abstract. Like, it's some weird kinesthetic. I could literally write notes, listen, pay attention to the teacher, and just be really tuned into my drawing on my notes the whole time. But it's like I can really pay attention at the same time simultaneously. It's weird. I was doing this in college, and I think it's just part of my mechanisms to like kind of like I guess anxiety, because I have a lot of that too, and I battle that. I haven't had therapy too much, you know what I'm saying? But I've been told to give it a try. But I use music and modeling and acting as my forms of therapy. So that way, and in drawing. So ever since I was little.
So that's your mental margaritas right there.
Facts. Facts. Yes, sir.
I had to. Sorry, look. I had to. Sorry.
Nah, you good. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's really what it was for me. Because honestly, I didn't have any other way to like, take on though didn't last too long. And I wasn't really much of like I'm more of a peaceful, I would say like the peaceful version of what Malcolm X would have been. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I ain't gonna lie, I am somebody that advocates for, action, but I'm not one that advocate for violence. That's another thing. But it's like, part of me is like humane, and the human part of me got to acknowledge emotion, anger, and part of that is healing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't bottle that and expect somebody to really navigate their way through, their struggles and their traumas. That's not gonna happen. You gotta at least allow them to experience some type of relief, which sometimes is gonna be just them yelling. Sometimes it's just gonna be them just frantically just moving back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Looking kind of like they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not really there, but it's just their way of coping. You know what I'm saying? It's like how a person with ADHD would facilitate themselves, or even with schizophrenia, you know what I'm saying? But it's like not everybody is capable of getting diagnosed, and nor do people want to get diagnosed with these type of behaviors, you feel me? So, or acknowledge them. So sometimes it's just easier to just let people cope the way they can cope, so that way they can just get through, you know? But that's the way I figured out, you know, life sometimes, like, cause I ain't gonna lie, my pops and my mom's got their own ways of going through their own battles. I had to learn how to, like, you know, between a peaceful father and a more like hands-on and like aggressive, like, you know what I'm saying, powerful mother, like, you know what I'm saying? So I had to, and plus I had a lot of, my father is like my father's Muslim, so it's like I'm a product of a polygamous family too. So it's like I have experience seeing, like, being in a household of like step brothers, and but feeling like it's just a whole household. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't even really recognizing the fact that like we have brothers or whatever. Like we've really fully connected. Like we like this no matter what. Like, and for me, I feel like that's the main thing about family. Like, that my perspective is so different from everybody else around me, because I have that type of culture that's just been instilled in me from young. And it's like I have an open mind to really understand that there's a lot of possibilities out there, a lot of ways of life out there. Even in my journey in school, part of my major, I majored in studio arts and minored in anthropology. And I was gonna be really a double major, but it was really just like the timing with Corona and getting kicked off campus, staying online, doing online courses. I couldn't really battle like two dissertations, two majors. Like, I just had to minor in anthropology, but it was really my first love before the like studio arts in the school. Apparently, it was just that, like, I really vibed with other cultures. I like to study other cultures and implement them in my work in some way or form without misrepresenting them in a sense, you know. But really centering my work on Afrocentricity, since I kind of like struggle between this balance of like being too African and then being too American, like, you know what I'm saying? So I have a perspective, right, like I could just share that with my art, you know. Like, sorry for over talking. I ain't gonna lie, but you got good questions. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, you know what? You got good answers.
Thank you, man.
And now I know musically you've done some things. Painkillers, Never Again, Don't Cry.
Mm-hmm.
What does those songs mean to you?
Okay, so these songs essentially are like my I would say like precursors to my musical career. At first, I just really wanted to just drop those songs just to get a gauge of what my audiences would essentially like to hear more from me. Like, because in reality, I've been making music since 2016, but I haven't really dropped music since like recently and in college, because like going back and forth financially, being like by yourself as an independent it's not really as easy as it may look. And it's without a team, believe it or not, your moves are not going to be as impactful as you want it to be. And I feel like the best way to make sure that you maximize yourself as an artist, as an independent artist with limited resources, the best way is to really focus your energy on balancing a work job and also catering to your career, which essentially is going to mean you're going to have to put overtime, which is just the 10,000 hour rule essentially. And you're just going to have to put in more time than you put into your 9 to 5 after your hours of 9 to 5 into your career. And that means you just got to go 100% every day. And that's literally what I try to do. Like, my art, the art that I do now today essentially helps me put it into the music. So for the Painkillers, it was just really like one of those moments where like that track, even though it's my highest like streaming track right now, it's one of my oldest streaming tracks right now. Like, I mean, oldest tracks technically, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, I had to hold that in, drop a drill track, which was actually a feature. And we didn't even get to drop that on all platforms. It was just a bad rollout for that track. And it was just bad communication, but it was a learning experience yet again, because I always take these experiences and learn from them. Like, I don't try to dwell on them too much, because at the end of the day, it's people want to see evolution. And I feel like the thing is, people are too caught up on, you know, the the extraneous of things that we can't control. Like I feel like, for example, like quality, like, what I'm saying? Consistency is it's one thing that we can control. And I feel like people don't realize that's the main, the main problem. But people think it's just like the money, the work itself. It's actually your work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just really your process, your way of thinking, like tackling problems that you can execute right away, rather than dwelling on problems that are really just, what I'm saying, take away from the larger scheme of things. But
I tell you, man, you're a deep thinker.
I still keep a sharp brain because I'm not in school anymore, sadly. But I gotta keep my due diligence at least. You know what I'm saying? Music, I have to be informative. I have to be just as informed as a professor should be, because in a sense, I'm sharing my thoughts to like people who I feel may need some type of insight, that may be from a young person or from an older, depending on the audience, you know what I'm saying? And they may need this type of insight. Sometimes I fail to recognize the power of words. Sometimes I undermine my own words, and people do too. Sometimes they don't realize like the wisdom that comes from their own head, but they just fail to just recognize it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, recognizing your power is one thing, but believing in it is another too. And then that's why I'm trying to really consistently keep going at it and taking my own word and eat, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, take my own food for thought. Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of giving it out. So we all do that. Like we like to prove we're so smart, and we can't even take our own, you know what I'm saying? Like, be a man of our own word or woman, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's kind of redundant, and I don't want to be a hypocrite. So one thing is for certain, if I even step out, I want my fans to tell me I'm bugging. I want people that actually watching me to keep me accountable of my actions. So that way we all doing that to each other. In a sense, that's going to keep us responsible, keep us at bay, keep us level, you know what I'm saying? Keep us focused. Because at the end of the day, we have a goal. We just lose sight of it at times. Like, life definitely does that to us. We drift. It's just real.
We do drift. And you made a comment. You said you want your fans to tell you, you want to build a relationship with fans. Speaking of fans, how do they reach you?
That's a good one right there. Usually I'm getting a lot from DMs and Instagram. Lately, I've been getting a lot of good comments on YouTube too, because I've been getting a lot of more engagements on the comments. And it's crazy because I'm getting a lot of people from abroad too, Africa, India. I'm getting people from Pakistan, from Morocco, Australia. It's kind of diverse, a lot from West Africa though, but really predominantly like all over. I'm not really too surprised, but I'm kind of surprised at the same time, because it's like, I didn't know I could do that by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I had known that earlier, I would have been putting more pressure. That's what I'm saying. Like, people don't realize it's all a matter of belief. It's really just taking your time and understanding your audience. Because to be honest, you just don't want to you got to know who you're catering to. Like, and staying true to you. Like, I'm battling that every day. Like, I'm in the streets every day with brothers that fail to understand that, you know what I'm saying, there's a bigger picture. But then I sometimes fall into that peer pressure because I'm surrounded with, people that I was raised with, that I love, that I call my own, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of like, it kind of compels you to want to get down with things, but it's like you have to fight. That's that fight that we keep, trying to emit in the music, the positivity, literally why my brother got signed today. Today, I got a brother that signed to Republic, and we created a group called Good Kids.
Nice.
Good, you feel me? And it's essentially, it's supposed to bring the irony to life. It's supposed to create that question. Nobody who's good will say they're good. You know what I'm saying? The way I was raised, if you're good, you don't have to say you're good. You know what I'm saying? That's what my father told me. You just act on it. Feel me? But I felt like that name was so powerful in a sense, because I feel like people these days judge books by cover so hard. Like, lately, I feel like I understand how Basquiat felt like when he was in the art world and being undermined by so much, art critics, and being looked at as a black sheep just because of his appearances. But then the thought process, the creation, the Nah, the wave that he brought, it was just different. Like you couldn't even see it coming. And this is the exact reason why I always feel like nothing is new under the sun. Like you just got to keep re-emitting those same values and try to remember that you're just like there's people out here doing the same thing out here trying to show you that it's possible. So don't ever kid yourself that it's not. Don't ever, because there's representation everywhere. You just gotta look for it. You gotta read. You gotta do your own due diligence and care about it just enough.
You definitely got to care about it enough.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to give the audience exact location on how they're going to contact.
Okay. The DMs will probably be the best. DMs will probably be the best, or email. But Instagram, tar_Dior. And that's really my the name for everything. YouTube, Tar Dior, Spotify, Tar Dior, all platforms, Tar Dior, even TikTok too.
Is that Dior, D-I-O-R?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
CAR_DIOR. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? We're going to be playing some of your joints, man. And really just walking them through your journey.
Yeah, man.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the Mental Margarita Show, but we got a lot more on Tar, so you guys stay tuned.
Yeah, man.
Real soon,
love, y'all. Stay tuned. More work coming. Mm-hmm.
Let's shake the world.
Yes, sir. Love, y'all. Appreciate you.
All right, brother.
Can you need this?
Yeah. Oh.
Hey, boss.
More fighters, I know who they are. Every day is just a battle, embracing your scars. I've been seeking for some answers, I'm looking to God. I've been channeling some light, but I'm walking through dark. I'm forgetting how to dream, I'll be up till tomorrow. I got family they in need, so I shoot for the stars. Taught to get it any means, my set is a flaw. Don't forgive me for my sins, I'm humble Allah. Yeah. War fighters, I know who they are. Every day is just a battle, embracing your scars. I've been seeking for some answers, I'm looking to God. I've been channeling some light, but I'm walking through dark. I'm forgetting how to dream, I'll be up till tomorrow. I got family they in need, so I shoot for the stars. Taught to get it any means, so my set is a flaw. Lord forgive me for my sins, and alhamdulillah. Had me trapping at the gym, cause I needed it all. Trust me, best believe before the wind, there be days that you fall. Couple niggas I thought solid was there for it all. I done seen a lot of niggas stay, but don't be who they are. Niggas say they always bout it, then when it's war, same niggas jacking did again, but one there from the start. I hate the way that shit had changed, I'm calling the heart. But truthfully, when in the game, you swimming with sharks. I was taught to put in pain before you could ball. Couple niggas out the frames, I rip them apart. Aim that 30 to his brain, is leaving the mark. Keep that halo just in range, I'm quick to respond. Where I'm from, them bullets range, trust you don't belong. Yeah. It took a minute, had to keep it strong. Yeah, I be that soldier that gon' bring it home. We been stuck up in the field, valley of the Zor. What you know about doing drills, pay don't take a soul. Ain't gon' get up in your heels, we don't do the phone. Fake niggas claim they real, we can't get along. All my life I'm chasing meals just to get a song. Born fighters, I know who they are. Every day it's just a battle, embracing your scars. I've been seeking for some answers, I'm looking to God. I've been channeling some light, but I'm walking through dark. I'm forgetting how to dream, I'll be up till tomorrow. I got family they in need, so I shoot for the stars. Talk to get it any means, I'ma set it's a flaw. Lord forgive me for my sins, alhamdulillah. For my sins, alhamdulillah.
Well, welcome to the Mental Margarita Show. I'm here with Rachel Flanagan, Executive Director of the American Red Cross in Las Vegas, and you cover quite a large area and with a great need. And first we'll go into, because there's lots to talk about. It's September. There's some awareness things we're going to be educating our audience on. But first we want to get to know you a little bit. And before the Red Cross, what were you doing prior and previously that actually led you in the direction that the Red Cross became part of your life path?
Absolutely. So I've been working in the nonprofit sector for more than a decade now. And I originally started out working with people with disabilities. I worked with Alzheimer's disease research and things like that. But I was actually raised by a first responder here in Southern Nevada.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah. And so my mother was a police officer here. So I actually got to see the work of the Red Cross firsthand from the time I was a young child.
Being part of any nonprofit is a lot of work, and it's tireless energy that you have to give all the time, day in, day out. You're always on call. There's always something that needs your attention. And I know that you have quite a competent staff and a team that really helps get the job done. But for people that aren't, and the American Red Cross is a household name. You know, it probably isn't any home in America that hasn't heard of or been touched in some way by the work of the American Red Cross, from blood donation. I myself personally was a donor recipient twice in my life. It saved my life. So I'm very grateful for the work the Red Cross does. And just, can you just highlight for us, because a lot of people don't even realize, and I think you're muted. There you are.
I just did it real quick.
Okay. Can you just highlight for us a lot of the areas that the Red Cross helps with that people may not already know about?
Absolutely. So a lot of the things that people know about that we do are like the training services. So those CPR and first aid certifications, teaching children how to swim, all of those various classes. We partner with cities and community centers to ensure that those classes are happening. We also have our life-sustaining blood program. So the American Red Cross is responsible for approximately 40% of the nation's blood supply. And so that happens throughout the entire country. We also have what we call our disaster cycle services team, which is responsible for what we call the disaster cycle. And so what they do is they handle the entire system. So they help people prepare in the event of a disaster. They respond when a disaster happens, and then they help with the recovery process. And that's a significant portion of what the world sees us doing. And then we have a dual arm that is dedicated to service of the armed forces as well as international services. So we are actually tied by executive orders to provide services to our armed forces. So there is a Red Cross actually on the base at the Nellis Air Force Base as we speak. We have an office there. We're there to provide services to the soldiers and their families. But then we also work internationally to restore family links in the event of a disaster. And we do that reunification process. And so we do that on a regular basis.
So it's September, and I understand it's Sickle Cell Disease Awareness Month.
It is.
And so I did a little bit of research on my own to just familiarize myself with the condition, but can you give us like a little summary of what the illness is and how Red Cross helps people affected?
Yes, absolutely. So sickle cell disease is actually one of the most common genetic blood diseases in the United States. So what it is instead of having the nice round oxygenated soft moving blood, the blood actually becomes hard and crescent shaped, and it doesn't allow for oxygen to be taken in, to flow through the blood. And that's vital for moving oxygen throughout your body, because what happens is when you breathe in air, it goes into your lungs, it translates to your blood, circulates through your blood, and then that deoxygenated blood is what you breathe out. It exchanges in your lungs. And so one of the things that happens is that oxygen isn't getting into those blood cells. So it can lead to severe pain, tissue and organ damage. It can lead to a lot of different things, which results in the need for up to 100 blood transfusions a year to try and alleviate that, because we replace it with blood that can oxygenate.
That's for
but
one
that
person.
only lasts so long.
Right, because their blood has a shorter lifespan.
Correct. So it doesn't necessarily last as long. It can lead to anemia. It can lead to clotting issues. It can cause strokes. And so that's why anybody who's having a sickle cell incident has to be able to go get a transfusion. So we have approximately 100,000 people who live in the US with sickle cell disease. 1 in 365 Black or African Americans are born carrying that sickle cell trait.
And it's genetic, so it's carried down. It's hereditary. So
it is.
If your parents or grandparents had it, then there's a chance that you
could carry that. Yes, and there are people who could carry the gene who don't display the symptoms of it, who don't necessarily have the active sickle cell disease, but they carry the traits that they can actually pass on.
Pass it on.
And so that's something that we actually test for. So 25 years ago, that wasn't something that was tested for at birth. And now when babies are born, they do that test right away to see if that gene is present. So what's valuable is when somebody goes in and donates blood, it's something that the American Red Cross does. If somebody identifies as African American, Black, multicultural, we actually test their blood to see if they carry that trait. That's something that's an automatic trigger when you put that designation in your profile. And what that does is it arms somebody with the information, and will also be able to tell them if their blood is the 1 in 3 that is ideal match for giving blood to people who have sickle cell disease, which is spectacular.
Wow. It's really a fine-tuned science now.
It is, and it's such a difficult disease to treat. They have to do stem cell transplants and things like that to try and put it into remission, and that's costly, and it's not always available. So a lot of the time the transfusion is just an ongoing thing.
And you said that people would have multiple transfusions through the year. What is just one cost, just from start to finish of the procedure?
I don't know what the cost on that would be. So, but I mean, but that's some insurances cover it, some don't. Not everybody has access to insurance, and that's what our concern is. Not to mention, if we have that decline in blood donations, the supply's just not there. And that's my personal larger concern, is when we don't have blood supply available that makes sense, because I can donate. I'm an O negative person. I can donate blood, but I'm not that 1 in 3 match that's ideal. So it breaks down faster. And then it leads to the patient can actually start rejecting some of those blood transfusions. So we have to ensure that they're getting the right blood.
And speaking of supply, I know we've helped with promoting some past drives, and it looks like that you did really well and met your goals on some of the battle badges. Sounded like a really fun event with all the law enforcement and fire department, and then having a little friendly competition with donation. But how is the supply looking?
So right now we're kind of in a decline. We actually, it's kind of a little bit of a breaking news. We will be discussing next week, actually, that we are seeing a decrease in our supplies right now. And that is related to, first of all, we have what we call the summer slump. People go on vacations, their kids are out of school. It's just you're not able to necessarily go and donate the way you normally would. And so we already see that slump with travel and all that. The other thing that we're seeing is we've had 15 major disasters here in the US this year. Well, as a result of that, we've canceled hundreds of blood drives throughout the country, which means thousands of units weren't collected. And that's one of those things that, being the largest blood supplier, we are able to move around blood, and blood gets to where it's needed. But if we start depleting the reserves and it keeps going at that rate, that's when we start getting concerned. So we want to ensure that we have those blood supplies on hand. So just to get ahead of emergencies.
Right. What's the biggest thing that we need? You need blood donations, you need monetary donations. If someone wanted to participate and give to that particular program, they're able to select what they would like to support when they go to your site. So they're able to, decide if they have something that's close to their heart that they can give. But since we are in the awareness month, it's September for sickle cell disease, what's the greatest need right now?
So we always ask, if people are healthy and able to give blood, we would love it if you could come on out and do that. Just make sure everybody's healthy. But the other thing that we always say is that we will happily accept financial donations. And our biggest thing is making sure that we're honoring that donor's intent. So if you want the money to go to the blood programs, that's where that goes. And each blood drive costs about an average of about $4,800. And that's quite the expense when you think about it, because of the bags and the equipment and the staffing and like all of those things that go into it. So that's part of a cost that we incur on the back end. So any support with that is great. We actually have designated sickle cell drives. So if somebody's able to actually host a blood drive, we would love it. That's something that the Red Cross is very, very open to. We love partnering with our community and bringing our community in. And so we always ask, if you have a space that's, adequate for it, and you would like to host a blood drive, you can actually just go right onto the website and contact the Red Cross, put in your company's information, and they'll actually have somebody who will contact you here in Southern Nevada. Her name is Saskia. She'll contact, and we do a whole walkthrough, and we walk through the process. And so we'll talk about square footage and like all of the different things that are necessary, but really, and then we're there throughout the whole process of recruiting donors and things. And some businesses love to get in on that, to be able to say, hey, we really care about our community. We just did a spectacular one with Nehemiah Ministries here in Southern Nevada. They designated it as a sickle cell drive, and they had a goal of 25 units, and they collected 27 their very first drive. And they had so much fun with it. They made their own little battle. It was their men's versus women within their church, and they had a blast with it. So we like to have fun with it. It's a very serious topic, and it's a very dire need, but we want to make sure that people, they're enjoying what they do. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to come back. We want you to be a part of it.
And for people that have not donated blood yet, the process takes about an hour and a half.
About an hour on average, unless it's a super busy drive like those Battle of the Badges that we talked about. Sometimes those can get a little bogged down, but on average, if you have made an appointment online, that morning you'll get a link to fill out what we call the rapid pass. You can do probably about 75% of your medical history right there on your phone before you ever get to the blood drive, which is awesome. Then you can fill all that out. You get there, you check in, and then they'll call you in the back. They'll scan your rapid pass, and it populates all that information. Then they ask a few questions. They check your iron. That's always a big one. Make sure people have eaten their leafy greens and their red meats and stuff. And then they'll get somebody on the table, and the whole process, you should, on a great day, be in and out in less than. Our team will walk people through the process. If people are afraid to donate, they've never donated before, they'll calmly walk you through it. They'll tell you what's going to happen. They'll tell you when to look away if you're terrified of needles. They do all of those things. So they're fantastic that way.
My experiences have always been comfortable, and the staff is always great to be around and cheerful, and and that makes the experience that much better. And we want to encourage our audience and people that are watching, if you have not ever donated blood, now would be a good time.
Absolutely. And you can go to redcrossblood.org. You can actually put in your zip code for your work or your home or whatever is most comfortable for you. And you can find blood drives right there that are in convenient locations, and schedule an appointment right there based on what works for you.
So someone here in Las Vegas would like to reach out to your office directly to either schedule something or just to be able to speak about how to partner and whatnot, what number would they call?
Hold please. I'm terrible with phone numbers. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Let me pull that up now. So most of the time a nice gentleman Mike will answer. Let's see. Phone number for Southern Nevada. Of course. About us, Southern Nevada. There it is. So the first place I always recommend that people visit is redcross.org/Nevada, because that will take you directly to our site. If you're looking for classes, anything like that, that's going to be something that you're interested in. Blood drives is the redcrossblood.org. But if it's somebody who wants to speak to us directly, what they're going to want to do is call 702-791-3311. And one of our amazing team members will take your call, and we can set something up. We also tend to have staff around quite a bit on Wednesdays. So if somebody wanted to just pop in and ask a question, we're usually there from about 9 to 2 at least on that day. We spend a lot of time in the community as well. So
that's wonderful. And there's a question I have to ask you while we're talking. The name of the show is called Mental Margarita. And we call Mental Margarita what is our escape, what brings us joy, what helps you find center and inner peace. We all have little things that we like to do, whether it's music or cooking or something. What's your mental margarita? Because you have a crazy schedule that demands so much of your time. You're a working mom. There's so much happening. And how do you find your time for you? And what do you do? What's your go-to?
You know, my bliss is I've been very fortunate. I was raised here in Southern Nevada. I've lived here a very long time, and it's actually spending time. I have a small ranch, so it's spending time with the animals and just, you know, being out in the garden, just doing stuff outside, taking my kiddo out there and letting her experience it. It's a simpler, quieter, slower pace of life. When we do that, it's like the time slows down.
That's neat. It's wonderful. And it's very therapeutic, and animals show us so much.
They do. We have baby goats right now, so
Oh,
it's fun.
they're
So
fun.
we just got them done being bottle fed, so they're very, very cute and cuddly. So
They grow up fast.
they do.
And eat and everything else that goes with it.
Mhm.
Well, that's wonderful. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on our show. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for the work that you do in the community. And just know that everything you do each day just means so much and touches so many people and so many families that are helped by the American Red Cross. And we'll do whatever we can at the Mental Margarita Show to help support and raise support and help get the message out and your mission. So
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're starstruck, here's a sprinkle of the stardust. Hold your champagne glass and your cigars up. See the guys with mob ties drive the cars up. Bright lights, most nights they buy the bars up. Candy coated Chevy cars on the highway. It's Frankie baby, it's on and this is my way. Dean Martin at the Sands this Friday. With Sammy Davis, here's a little hint where I stay. The city shines like Liberace's mansion. And you know Elvis had the whole city dancing. Showgirl silhouette steady prancing. Shout out to June, just the Copa Girls anthem. Legal gambling, yeah, that would tempt me. At Sin City, holy water couldn't cleanse me. And Wayne Newton had the crowd in a frenzy. Live at the Stardust, the seats never empty. Now if you having a good time in Las Vegas, at the count of 3, I want to hear you scream, Viva Las Vegas. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Viva Las Vegas! And Main Street was the official local beer stop. Enough slot machine noise to make your ears pop. The cigarette girls walking souvenir shops. While Red Fox had them laughing till the tears drop. Before Steve got a win at the right time, Sig and Roy had a long circus lifeline. Now the Strip's got a lot of neon light signs. Would you agree there's not another city like mine? Years later, Mayweather got the city hot. And everybody in your city with a TV watch. Celine Dion got celebrities at every spot. Boys the Man even got Jenny on the block. Now here's a culture shock, the desert's got a hockey scene. Golden Knights, yeah, the #1 hockey team. And we even got the Raiders repping Vegas now. So get the champagne, it's time to bring the waiters out.